he can take up commentary. So this is the junior single sculls that we have on the start. Good afternoon, Headmaster.
Always a pleasure to share a cramped room with you on a sunny afternoon, Martin.
I'll go this way.
And this dancing that we're doing, we've not done that.
Oh my word! We've got water flying everywhere here in the commentary HQ.
Unfortunately,
It's missed all the electronics, so we're all okay. But
we have got the results. Laura Merridew of Reading.
fantastic. So there we go for that previous race.
Can you see it, Laura Merridew?
It was Laura Merridew who led the whole way down the course that won that senior single scull
3 lengths.
by 3 lengths, and of course that was for the Bernard Churches Trophy,
And she broke her own record by second, 5:52.
and that was sponsored by the Copers Partnership. She broke her own record. There you go, in a time of 5:52. So she won by 3 lengths. So we're off the start now with the junior single sculls, and again we were just saying how pertinent this race is. The Dame Di Ellis Trophy for this junior single scull.
And she would have loved this.
Oh,
wouldn't
she would have absolutely.
absolutely would have loved this. And it's just right that there is a trophy, and that she knew about it actually before, sadly, she did pass away. Greatly respected, not just amongst the rowing fraternity, but anyone who met her were instantly enamoured by her lovely manner. So it's very sad news.
Now, it's interesting because I believe we were here yesterday, both of us, Greg, and we watched this Exeter University sculler, did we not? Win in the
we did.
quarter-final, I think.
And how impressed were we?
We were very impressed, and I think, did we not both say we were putting our necks on the line and tipping her to be in the final, if not win?
You know
So-
someone's going to check that.
Oh gosh, yes, I
Yeah,
will
we did
go
that.
back.
And,
But I think we did.
we talked about the fact that she's at Exeter University, whether she's there as a young freshman, but she's got access to that training, that excellent program they have there at Exeter University, and she is a really fine athlete, actually. But that's not taking anything away from Dooley either. You don't get into a final.
Absolutely not. And in the junior single sculls here are so competitive, so competitive, because these girls probably have faced each other throughout the year, and when it is side by side, it's not like we're here at the national schools where there's 6 lanes to get into a final. To get into the final here at Henley Women's Regatta, you have to sort of battle through all those different side by side stages.
Gosh, that's tight.
And it's currently the sculler from Exeter University that is just a length, and there's still overlap. There's a bow ball overlapping with the Agecroft sculler. We're in that little white box there that you can see from the drone footage, and as they've come past us, it's still 1 length. And I think actually the Agecroft Rowing Club sculler has just started to push the rate up a little bit. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, they're both working incredibly hard just to get the edge. Psychologically as well as physically here, and the Exeter sculler, as we saw, did have the better start, and she's pushed that out now to what, 3/4 of a length. To see on the monitor.
But Exeter University did almost break clear water off the edge of the island, so that is certainly the Agecroft Rowing Club sculler that has managed to come back a little bit with that sort of running speed, with that middle section sort of cruising speed that they'll both have.
Yeah, this is a super final for singles, isn't it? Because as Martin was saying earlier, I was listening to his dulcet tones about it was something about fat ladies and singing or something like that, and I don't know. It's never over until it's over.
And
I think is what he was trying to say.
Quite literally, as you say that, watch this. The Agecroft sculler now coming back at the early leader, Exeter University, and as we've been saying throughout the day, we have seen 1 or 2 tight races in the singles over the course of the last couple of days, and we've seen a few row-throughs in the course of the last couple of days, and so I think Agecroft is in a really good position to do that. She's definitely still got time.
She has, but form this season, up until now, would suggest that the Exeter University sculler is just ahead. Certainly from national schools results, she was in that worst of all positions, 4th. No one wants to be 4th.
Gosh, no one wants to be 4th.
In the final. The Agecroft sculler Dooley was in the A semi-final, but didn't make it to the final. So
Oh, and there's that very exciting race that's just gone off the start for the senior quadruple sculls between Headington on the left-hand side of your screen there and Tideway Scullers on the right-hand side of your screen. And boy, I cannot wait for this to come
you are
past
getting quite
us.
excited. I thought it was because I moved into the chair instead of Martin, but no, you're absolutely right. This is incredibly exciting, and apologies to the Scullers that we've moved away from them, but you'll see how tight this race is going to be, and you know, we've been handed some statistics. We've got our very own Stato
Oh,
from
the
Austria.
results from earlier in the day.
from, oh no, really?
Here.
Yeah, that'll be the times.
She's English.
Oh, that's okay.
Taking the piss out of me, are you? Mate?
So it's Headington School in this senior quadruple sculls final that have taken a canvas lead over the Tideway Sculler School quadruple scull. And this Headington School crew have had a couple of unfortunate years. They've been going for the Diamond Jubilee at Henley Royal, and they've just missed out every year to Gloucester Hartbury, and this is their year, I think they think, and they've entered senior quads here so that they can get good competition, so they know that they're at the right level to be able to win that this year. Gloucester Hartbury, of course, in the junior event that we'll see a bit later on, but if you're winning senior quads here at Henley Women's Regatta,
Well, if you're in the
as
final
a
of
junior,
senior quads,
as a junior quad, I think that's a pretty good sign.
And they're in the lead.
And they are in the lead,
and this is going to be a great race. There's only 2 seconds between them in the semi-finals that they both rode.
oh my word, look at that cruising speed from
And
Headington.
absolutely, you can see this thankfully on the drone footage. This is just a beautiful sight. I'm going to tingle here just by watching these quads. It's the boat speed. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, Camilla. We've got those new records. Looking at that boat speed going past us, I'd be surprised if we're not in for another course record here.
Now,
really surprised.
three of the girls in that Headington quad were in last year's Headington quad, so they've remained wholly the same. So they've spent a lot of time together when they've not been in the 8. And they raced it at national schools. They won it at national schools as well, I believe. And Tideway Scullers, of course, got a medal at the British Rowing Championships, and up against some very stiff competition, you know, from Leander and Molesey and all those guys. So Tideway Scullers actually also have a pretty good record at senior level as well. So the Tideway Scullers crew successful at the Metropolitan Regatta, I believe, as well, and have just upped the rating no end. Look at that! Look at that
They're really wanting
wind that's
to
just
get,
happened.
aren't they? They just want to get back on target for that sprint finish. There is going to be an absolutely massive sprint finish, and listening to Martin earlier about front loading, certainly Headington had the better start. They want to get that psychological edge, but they are an experienced group, the Tideway School
Well,
Scullers.
here comes Tideway
Yep.
Scullers. Look, they've eaten back, I think, at least a little bit, because I think Headington got out to probably about 3/4 of the length, and I think it's now about half a length, actually, to
And the
Headington.
difference between the two crews, of course, because Headington School will probably be lighter, less experienced. Tideway Scullers, perhaps a little bit more powerful. Maybe they've spent, and I'm guessing here, a little bit more time in the gym rather than on the ergos.
And
We'll see. They'll see them coming back.
in saying that, I know that the bow girl from the Tideway Scullers crew is a lightweight, Mimi Carlton. She's, you know, down at sort of 57 kilos most of the year. So,
Gosh, that's nearly as heavy as me.
So in saying that the Headington School crew is lighter, oh my word, look at this!
Yeah,
Look
this
at the
is gonna be
surge that's just come from
absolutely
Tideway
great.
Scullers, and this
And
is going to be a
Headington
great
responding.
finish.
And Headington, we need to stay with this race, I would imagine, because this is going to be exciting right to the finish. There's no doubt about that.
And I think Headington have responded, actually, because that's drawn back out again, and this would be an emphatic end to the regatta for Headington School. They've just won the Peabody Cup, the Junior 8s, in a record time, and here they are leading a senior event. And
in the semi-final, they equalled the record for this event. No, sorry, they set a new record for this event.
they set a new record in the semi-final, and as
Well,
schoolgirls,
we think they're going to break. Well, we'll see. But this is the
here
day
come
for
Tideway
records.
Scullers. Look, here they come. Here comes the wind, and if we can cut to this senior quadruple sculls event, this is going to be so tight on the line. Here come Tideway Scullers, and they've taken
They
back
haven't.
half
Look
a
at this.
length
This
on
is so
Headington,
exciting.
and I think Tideway Scullers
But
have
Headington
just about
responding.
got their nose out in front ahead of
Oh my
Headington, and
goodness.
oh my word, I am not going to be able to call that on the line.
What a brilliant,
That
brilliant
was
race.
sensational, and poor Headington, if they've lost that, having led the whole way down, and as you said earlier, both of you actually, it's not over until it's over, is it?
It's alright.
He's such a sagacious chap, isn't he? Martin Unsworth.
The fat dog bar. It's not over until the fat dog barks. Is the new
So here we are, Junior 16 quadruple sculls. So we'll bring you the results of that as soon as we can, because let's be honest, neither of us know.
Result of the junior single.
And we've got Henley Rowing Club now leading this event in the Junior 16 quadruple sculls. And
Yeah.
one of our co-commentators here, Martin, getting very excited as the local crew are out in front against another very strong crew. That's crew 224.
Where you go, Henry?
Which is a world-class start composite from Ely, so from the east coast of Great Britain. So Cambridge 99, Isle of Ely, Kings Ely, and they are currently sat half a length down, but closing slightly, I'd say.
This is, again, I think we said it yesterday, Camilla, fantastic programme they've got at Henley's. They've had so many finalists, semi-finalists in this regatta. They were the Victor the Doran winners at the National Schools. And it's not just the girls. I know this is these are the girls, but the boys are really coming on as well. So it's absolutely fantastic program. And every year they keep producing a quad or an 8, and it's just fantastic. And they row and scull so beautifully.
Absolutely, and they've had lots of success this year, and these are their J16s, as we've just said. So this is the younger generation of that junior sort of core group that have been performing really well on the national stage, you know, it's good to see that it feeds through to the sort of lower tiers as well in the younger years. Yeah. But this world-class start crew, so just to sort of put into context the crew that we've got from the Cambridge Composite, so all of these scullers, I think bar one, all started to row not so long ago. They'd all been identified as very strong athletes for their age, being very young, and they've all been put together, actually, you know, with no one else to row with from their particular schools, and they've all come together from the school, from King's School Eve, from Isle of Ely, and from Cambridge 99, because they've had no other sort of crew to row with. So I was speaking to one of their coaches earlier on today, and actually he was saying, although the start programme's been very strong in the east of England, this crew actually haven't really been a part of that. It's just that they've all been identified from their own separate programmes as being very strong. So
but that's also the difficulty, isn't it, to get all the 4 athletes together to train. And what we're seeing, there is a Henley crew that are so together. They've been practicing, and on this course, of course. This is
absolutely.
where they row.
Their bread and butter.
Oh,
and a little bit of combat there from the composite. So it's half a length now to Henley Rowing Club. Half a length. And like we just saw in that last race, half a length really isn't much, is it? So
yep.
I suspect that we're on for another close race again in these quadruple sculls. And just a quick update, the result of the junior single for the Dialis Trophy that we had earlier on today was a win for Phoebe Campbell of Exeter University by 1 length in a new course record time. Again, we're going to get sick of saying that, 5:55. So we'll go back to, we've got another race on the course now, and that's some double sculls.
Which is the junior double sculls, Nottingham Rowing Club and Tideway School again. And it looks like Nottingham did.
Oh gosh, they're getting quite close together in the middle of the river there, aren't they?
Yeah, we were hearing a little bit earlier from...
Just quickly, let's go back to the top right-hand screen there in the quadruple sculls, because we're coming up to the line, and I think
there we go, thank you.
Just about still going to be Henley Rowing Club, but a big last push there from the composite, and it's about half a length, and there we go, that was the end. Sorry, I didn't realise that they had so little to go, but no, we'll flip back there. So back to the junior double sculls, sorry.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, I think Tom was saying that actually when you're on the course, it's wider than you think. And I was talking to my daughter, who's rowed on this course a few times, and she says she doesn't believe that. Actually, if you're steering a quad or something, you feel that is such a thin, narrow route for you. And we mustn't underestimate the steering and the importance of steering in these small boats. Mm-hmm. And both of them back on track now, but it's Nottingham who had the better start, but they haven't in any way shaken off Tideway Scullers School.
Absolutely, and you know, I was commentating on the Nottingham junior double just this morning, actually, in fact, I think it was, and I was speaking to their coach Des, who's been with the club for such a long time. He's coached many winners at Henley Women's Regatta. He's held the course record in the quadruple sculls at some point, and he was really excited about this junior double scull and thought they had it in them to take the win. And he knew that sideways scullers were tough competition, and he actually thought that the Landaf crew that were up against tideways scullers in that semi-final this morning were going to be really tough competition as well. So tideways scullers had a really tight race with them and managed to overhaul them, and here they are racing Nottingham.
Actually, Nottingham, if you look
final.
at this, Camilla, I think Nottingham they're not getting ahead, and tideways scullers are still with them, but they don't look so laboured. Tideways scullers just look a little bit more laboured. It looks as though there's a huge amount of effort going into each stroke there, whereas with the Nottingham, the rhythm seems to be just that little bit better.
Yeah, and I think I think you can really tell that if you look at the finishes of the crews. So when the crews sit back and take their blades out of the water, tideways scullers are so keen to get onto the next stroke, and it's not doing them any harm in any way. They are still at the same boat speed as Nottingham, and they have been for the last 500 metres and coming back. But Nottingham, you know, not so rushed to get onto the next stroke, letting the boat run underneath them, and where have they got to go? I've said this so many times with these crews that do look like they're up, up spinning the hands a little bit, and yes, it is giving them the speed through this middle section of the race, but where's the sprint going to come from? Where have they got to go from that high rating that they're taking through the middle? You know, is it just going to be a sort of burn to get back on terms? And then Nottingham actually, look like they have somewhere to go with this, don't they?
They do.
They could, if we were to say to them, look, you need to start your sprint now, could wind it up through the race.
It looks as though, yeah, I completely agree with that. But I mean, there's a lot of power. Thank you. That's my Father's Day yacht. Just
There's some more results though.
but there's plenty of power. There's no doubt about that in the tideways sculler school. And if
We've got the result of that very close race. So, in that senior quadruple sculls event for the Chairman's Trophy, it was indeed tideways scullers that beat Headington School by 3 feet. 3 feet. And came from behind, and not a new course record, believe it or not, in that
I'm not
such
sure
a
about
tight
that.
race.
If they equalled the course record in the semi-final, I think it might be.
I think
a
you've
new
said
course
that,
record.
yeah, 4:55 in their
Hold on, in the semi.
So we're
what
just
was
going to check that. Meanwhile, back on the screen, you can see again that
No, the course
that
record was
Nottingham-
5:03.
So they have beaten the course record, sorry. But, yeah.
that Nottingham double looking absolutely wonderful, I have to say. The smoothness of and therefore they're not wasting energy.
Absolutely.
And they'll be about to just take it up.
Yeah, there they go, look. So last few strokes there for the crew from Nottingham Club. That is unbelievable, that result from the senior quadruple sculls. Just looking back at that, 3 feet just shows you, doesn't it, that you should never give up until you're through the line.
Until the big dog barks, I think.
Until the
is
big
new,
dog barks.
the new thing from Martin.
The names of the crews that are racing. Both the two crews.
So Nottingham Rowing Club is Charlotte Brown and Lucy Holgate. And Tideways Sculler Schools, India Lawrence and Charlie Wedderburn. And Tideways Scullers really pushed hard in that middle part there, Camilla. And I think that burn has taken just a bit out of them.
Yeah, absolutely, and we did say that.
Beautiful coaching, obviously, for the Nottingham Rowing Club. It looks at Nottingham. They've been in control of it throughout the race. But unless something strange happens now, I think they're going to turn. They have.
There we go. And look at that. Absolute elation there from the Nottingham Rowing Club double. And Des, who's their coach, as I say, he'll be very pleased having sat on a launch with him earlier on in the regatta. And we're on now to the next race.
Which is the J16 4, Cox 4, and one of our